Hey guys, okay, so I first apologize. I made more videos. I promise I'll make more. Just been busy doing a bunch of other stuff. So, anyhow, today I'm going to talk about something. What I'm going to talk about is something that happened in college football. I think maybe you know the bowl season's upon us. There's 35 bowl games. Now, to qualify for a bowl, you got to be a 6-win team. Basically, not have a losing record, with the exception that Georgia Tech got it because they ended up going 6-7, but before the ACC title game, and they were in that by default because they beat North Carolina and Miami decided to be postseason ineligible. They got a bowl exemption, just like UCLA did last year because they played a conference title game. So, anyhow, it's not about Northern Illinois getting in, none about that. It's who decided not to go to a bowl game, and that is Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech finished 9-3. They play in the WUUhh. They were in the top 25 in the BCS for the first time ever this year. Now, here's what happened. They turned down an invite to the Independence Bowl in Shreveport. Why? Because Louisiana Monroe of the Sun Belt Conference was chosen also to play in the Independence Bowl. Apparently, there's a rift between Louisiana Tech and Louisiana Monroe. They don't like each other. For some reason, Louisiana Tech doesn't want to play Louisiana Monroe. Louisiana Monroe had a great season. They beat Arkansas in Little Rock, and they almost beat Auburn. Now, granted, Arkansas was not that great this year. Neither was Auburn. But why was the Arkansas win important? Because think about this. One, Arkansas is an SEC school. 2 years ago, Arkansas was in the Sugar Bowl. Last year, they won the Cotton Bowl and finished in the top 5 in the nation. Then their only losses last year were to the top 2 teams in the country, LSU and Alabama. Auburn, 2 years ago, won the national title. And now both teams have fallen off the face of the planet pretty much. I mean, Arkansas had a trying year. Their coach Bobby Petrino had that accident, and his motorcycle with his mistress, and then their coach John L. Smith fell into $10 million in debt. Now they just found out just now that Arkansas has just hired the coach from Wisconsin. So anyhow, Louisiana Tech turned it down. Now, the athletic director said, "No, that's not what we turned it down. We were waiting for some other bowls." But okay. Louisiana Tech was 9-3, though they didn't win the WUUhh, the Western Athletic Conference. Utah State and San Jose State finished ahead of them. Now, the WUUhh is only guaranteed one bowl spot, but because of other conferences not meeting their bowl requirements, like Conference USA and the Big East, it had a domino effect. They didn't meet each conference has a certain amount of bowl slots that they have to fill, and if they don't meet that requirement, then another conference can step in and take that bowl spot. Well, it had already been announced that Louisiana Monroe was going to play in the Independence Bowl, but when Louisiana Tech was invited, and they're like, "No, we're just going to go. We're done. We're done this year." If I were a player on Louisiana Tech, I'd be mad, especially if you were a senior. Louisiana Tech had the top-ranked offense this year. Top-ranked. And at one time, they were considering being an outsider to go into the BCS. They were 9-1. They were almost in the top 16. And as many of you probably found out this past week, you have to be in the top 16 and be ahead of a conference winner to be automatically put into a BCS pool if you're a non-AQ, on an automatic qualifier. Louisiana Tech, at that time, their only loss was to Texas A&M, who's right now in the top 10. And then they lost to San Jose State, they lost to Utah State, so they missed out on winning the conference. So they turned down all bowl invitations. I would be angry. Karl Malone, basketball Hall of Famer who went to Louisiana Tech, just blew up on his Twitter why he would be mad. Not why, he was mad. Why he also wants to be the athletic director too. He would find a way. I mean, I don't see what the problem is with playing in the Independence Bowl. It's in Shreveport. It's not far from Louisiana Tech. You have 2 Louisiana schools playing in there. You'd get a good crowd. You get a good crowd. It's not going to cost you a lot. It wouldn't cost you a lot of money to go to Shreveport. It cost you less to go to Shreveport than you did last year when you played TCU in the Poinciana Bowl in San Diego. That cost more to go to San Diego than it did to it would go to Shreveport. So, you know, Louisiana Tech, shame on you. You should at least just go to a bowl game. I mean, just go to a bowl. You were 9-3. There are teams that finished with worse records than you that are going to bowl games. Especially these seniors. It's not every year Louisiana Tech gets to go to a bowl game. Last year was their first bowl appearance in a while. A couple of years ago, my friend William and I went to see Louisiana Tech play North Texas up in Denton. And I swear, Louisiana Tech only had about 30 people in the crowd. We were sitting on the Louisiana Tech side, and the general admission side. We were sitting on that side, behind the Louisiana Tech bench. And I swear there were only about 30 people there. Seriously, only about 30. So I mean, obviously it's a shorter distance to drive from to Shreveport than it would be to drive the about 6 hours to Denton, Texas. So that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. I mean, there's no. I mean, 9-3. I think that's the best record Louisiana Tech's ever had. If I can just pull it up. In fact, I'm doing that right. I'm going to do that right now. You know, if you have a season like that, you should be a bowl team. Honestly. And if let me pull up Louisiana Tech, and it's also been a tragic year for Louisiana Tech. Their mascot, their bulldog, Here's what happened to the bulldog before the season. He was at a vet. Okay, and there's a vet that takes care of him. Well, this vet tech had let the dog out and forgot to let him back in, and the bulldog had a heat stroke because it gets really humid in Louisiana summer. And bulldogs are very susceptible to heat stroke due to the way their nasal cavity is. I mean, I can't remember the whole thing, but he suffered a heat stroke. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm looking it up. Louisiana Tech's only been to 6 bowl games in their history. Last year, they were in the Poinsettia Bowl. In 2008, they were in the Independence Bowl. 2001, they were in the Unitarian Bowl. So they were in the Independence Bowl in 2008. Which, in fact, they won over Northern Illinois. So there. And that year they finished 8-5. Last year they finished 8-5. They lost the Poinsettia Bowl to TCU. In 2001, they went to the Humanitarian Bowl, which is now known as the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, and they had lost pretty good to Clemson with Woody Clemson's Woody Dantzler was the quarterback, and actually, in fact, they went to the Independence Bowl in 1990. In fact, the last time Louisiana Tech won 9 games was in 1997. They were an independent. They won 9 games. But like I said, it's been a while since they've even done anything in football. This technically really is their best season that they've ever had, especially with the high-powered offense. So anyhow, Louisiana Tech, shame on you. Shame on you for screwing over those seniors and giving them the chance to play in a bowl game. Anyhow, subscribe, comment. I'll definitely try to put up a video on Thursday. I want to talk about why DC Comics is messing up Justice League movie compared to Marvel being so successful with the Avengers. Now, subscribe, comment. See you guys later.